Hi, a warm welcome to you. I'm Neil Millard, the DevOps and IT expert, and I also talk about contracting and stuff. Maybe you want to know what this video is about. Great question. We're going to be talking about internal developer platforms because developing code presents you with choices, and deploying is hard, choices are hard, and we just want to help each other out. So let's get into it. But before that, I'd just like to mention the Tech Answers Club, where you can join me every Wednesday for a Q&A to ask all of your tech questions, deployments, DevOps, Kubernetes, containers, all that fun. Come along, ask me a question, and we'll help each other out. What is an internal developer platform? Well, it's essentially a customized self-service infrastructure and workflow ecosystem that standardizes and simplifies software development processes. This is because, like I said, developers have a lot of choices when they develop code. So if we've got a deep DevOps expertise already on hand, we can answer a lot of questions that the common developers will have at that organization. What programming language should I use? Or how are things deployed around here? It also provides a standardized CI/CD approach, with pipelines doing most of the hard work for you. And we throw in automated testing and build and self-service release. There's also a central hub for documentation, templates, and knowledge, with some built-in security and compliance guardrails. And then on the back end, no DevOps setup would be complete without observability and monitoring on the end of it. Why might you need one? Well, it solves the developer cognitive load. That means all the decisions, maybe not all, are made for the developer, so you can just get on with developing code and not have to worry about everything else that goes along with it. Here's a template application that just says, "Hello world." It's written in a certain language that the organization has agreed to support. It's using specific libraries to get you going fast on your developing journey. You can pick up your ticket from whatever ticketing system you're using, download the template, and bang, make your first build. Then write some tests, because of course that helps. Understand everything else that's going on. And then your first build is there ready to go, and you can iterate on it from there based on whatever the ticket says. So with those choices of language and frameworks and dependencies all sorted out, it just leaves the development bit on the end. And with the pipelines in place and the automated testing, those are covered for you too. When I say you, I mean the developer. The benefits of having these things standardized means that it's easier to support because everyone's trodden the same path before. You'll know the issues they're going to come up against. You'll know how to solve them. And there'll be shared documentation that they can access without bothering us, the DevOps people, or anybody else, except maybe in their team, to say, "Have you seen this before?" No, but have a look at the docs. There's the answer for you. And so it speeds up learning for new starters, and it speeds up development because there's lots of support already there. If all the developers were doing their own thing, they'd be hitting the same issues and brick walls over and over again, but all for different languages and different frameworks and God knows what else. By putting some guardrails in, you keep everyone on the same path, and therefore everyone gets supported equally and strongly from day one. So it reduces toil and manual work as well. So part of my operability role and DevOps role and SRE role and all that sort of stuff, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at my previous video. Then I want to present a situation where everything is self-service. The developer says, "I want to start a new project." The documentation says, "Here's a template, off you go." The developer says, "I want to deploy it." The documentation says, "Go to this URL, onto our portal, click this button, feed in some information, and it will deploy it for you." Well, I've not built it yet. The answer is the same. Look on documentation, on the portal, there's a pipeline that will build it and test it for you. And so all of that extra cognitive load is taken away. and makes everything and everybody just a little bit happier. All this sounds absolutely amazing to the developer. But there's a catch. The IDP might not be the solution that your organization is looking for. Potentially, it's over-engineering what's already there. Potentially, it's too complex. And there's always budget constraints and the size of the team constraints. IDPs take a lot of effort to get working. I was on a project, and from inception of the IDP to the first live service, I think took about 18 months. That's something that your business might not be able to support. Of course, looking on the back end of that was 9 years ago. Now a team joining that service can now start, pick up their tickets and deploy a fully working service within 3 weeks. Pretty impressive, but that's a lot of groundwork to go into at first. So once it's up and running, 3 weeks is great for developing a fully tested and deployed product. But it does have a lot of foundation that it relies on. Your business might not be up for that investment. It might be that you need that over-engineering and you've only got a team of 2 developers. There's probably a lot of hassle to go through just for 2 people. That doesn't mean you shouldn't use the guardrails. It doesn't mean you shouldn't use the CI/CD pipelines, but you don't have to go as far as a full-on internal developer platform. So you want to deploy an internal developer platform? What are the steps that we need to do that? Well, step 1 will be basic. Step 2, we step it up a level to an intermediate, and step 3, an advanced. These will take time. In the basic start, we have shared documentation, some basic scripts, and stuff just so that everyone can get started. The intermediate level will be the self-service infrastructure templates. So these are the templates that the people can use in order to have the infrastructure running so that when they deploy stuff, they haven't got to write that themselves. They can just have the templates there that they can run on their machine, or the shared architecture, because no doubt there's a Jenkins server lying about somewhere, and be able to build stuff with the basic scripts and the basic templates. And the advanced level is the full developer portal with comprehensive automation. Everything you could possibly imagine is automated. Create a repo on GitLab. Yep, that's automated. You just click a button. That GitLab repo is already pre-populated with the template. And so everything can be automated to the point where the developers just get their code, do the developing, and then commit that. And on the commit, it automatically gets built. And after the commit, they get given the button of, well, where do you want this deployed? An internal developer platform isn't just a tool, though. It's a philosophy of empowerment. It's my job. I want to be kind of invisible as possible. I want to provide the tools and the self-service aspect of things to the developers so they feel empowered to do what they need to do without me getting in the way. The only time they contact me is if something's not quite working right, a bug, or if they want a new thing, a feature. Sounds familiar, right? So the IDP is your team's superpower, reduces complexity once it's set up, and it amplifies developer productivity. As I said in my example earlier, 3 weeks from inception to live deployment for a fully fledged app. An IDP is not a one-size-fits-all. It's not a template I can give you. It's going to be unique to your organization, their choices, and their needs. The goal isn't just efficiency. It's creating an environment where developers can do their best work with the least friction. The goal is, can they develop something in 3 weeks? So how do we do this? We start small and iterate. Kind of the agile way, right? We involve the developers at the platform design stage. After all, they know what they want. They know how they work, and the experienced ones in your organization will know how things are like to be done. That's not necessarily the best way, so we can guide them and help bring those guide rails closer and closer to the ideal, whilst using all of their experience and the existing knowledge within the organization. Then we can continuously measure and improve. And we want to keep things as simple as possible. Simple makes our lives easier, simple makes their lives easier, and we don't want to chase complexity just for the sake of it. So, what are you waiting for? Look at your current development flow. Are there any bottlenecks? Where are the developers spending most of their mental energy on non-coding tasks? Let me know in the comments below. Also, can you describe your experience of an internal developer platform? I'd like to hear about them. And just to finish off, here's a little joke. Why did the DevOps team call their IDP a magician? Because it turned manual chaos into automated brilliance. Not really that funny, was it? Anyway, if you want to tell me your jokes, then come along to the Q&A or just join us at techanswers.club, where we can get together and support each other in all things IT and operability and DevOps and cloud and all those wonderful other buzzwords that we like. Till next time, may all your deployments be smooth.